Hi, I'm Rick. I'm going to do a video today on escarole and beans, or escarole and beans. And I've had escarole my whole life. That was kind of like a staple in my family. We'd have this. One of the vegetables is have this escarole sandwich, and my mom would make it on Fridays because Fridays she couldn't eat meat. Okay, so she would make this piece of Italian bread. And the Italian bread was always great. That was part of my job, going to get the Italian bread, especially in the wintertime when it was like really cold. And I'd get a loaf of Italian bread that they just bring out of the oven, and I would carry it home, keep me warm. But the whole inside of the bread was missing because I would pick away at the dough inside the bread. It was like a long loaf, and they called it, what do you call it? Oh, gavragan. I don't think I've got it right. I'm not pronouncing it right. His name was Empty Head or something. I mean, who knows? But he made a great loaf of Italian bread. Right now, probably the best bread that you're going to get is down the Arthur Avenue, the market. And they call it pane di casa, which means bread of the day. And it's just unbelievable. I mean, there's some great bake shops there. So I get this Italian bread with escarole in it. And my mom made it with olive oil. And the oil would be leaking all over in the bread, and she would wrap it in wax paper. I don't know. So we put it in wax paper, and then she put it in a brown paper bag, and she'd give it to me and she'd, all right, off to school you go. And so I go into the lunchroom and I look around and I would look for, I don't know if they were I don't know at that time they called them nerds, but these were the real sharp, smart kids. Not that I was dumb, but I wasn't in their category. So I would look around and I would say, okay, I'm going to sit with these guys, just to goof on them. And they weren't really caring about food. They cared about their conversations or whatever they're talking about, or what was going on in the world. And like I could care less. I was only caring about what was going on with baseball or football. That's all I cared about. Anyway, so I'd sit down there and I'd open up this bag and they'd look at me and they wouldn't say nothing. And then all of a sudden they'd take this roll, this Italian bread with the escarole and the oil dripping out of it, and bite it, and they would go, you got lettuce in the sandwich? Is that lettuce? I said, no, it's not lettuce, it's escarole. Escarole? Oh, okay, what's escarole? And the Italians knew about escarole. I mean, we knew to the point the guys had wild hair. They called them scarole. That was another thing. His hair was like, escarole was always wild, and so these guys had some wild hair, and we all had nicknames. One guy wanted to be called Zorro, but turned out to be Zero. Anyway, but David's go, oh, you can't be eating that. And I said, you know what? It's greatest, and you can't have any. And so meanwhile, anyway, I'm putting some of this garlic in this cast iron frying pan, and we're going to put some oil in it and stuff like that. Anyhow, pour into it, and you want to add some oil. So we got some oil in here, right? Okay, a little bit more garlic. We'll put in. All right, I got some pieces that I cut. The thing about garlic is when you fry garlic, make sure you don't fry it full blast, because then the tendency for it to start burning and it turns brown and then it kills the whole flavor of the garlic. What I do is put a flame on and put it very low to start, all right? And move some of this stuff over here. Grows like at an angle like that. I planted some, and it was okay. It didn't come out as good as what I got here. But the thing about it is that you shouldn't use black pepper with this. The problem with black pepper is people think it's the dirt. And it really doesn't need pepper anyway. But and you've got to really wash these out when you get them. You get a big pot and you put the escarole in and keep rinsing it away, so you can get all that dirt out of there. What I do, my trick to it, is to take the escarole and cut it in half. Okay? Now, the reason I do this, it's just easier to fry. The problem, other way, you put pieces in there and you'll be flipping all the pieces to get it on all the oil, all right? So I have this, I raise the flame just a little bit so I can get this to start picking up. All right. So you take that, shake it out, all right, and just set it in here. And then do the other half that you cut. I usually like to do it reverse, put one over here, one over here, you know, the core up here and the core on the other side, and just set them in, all right? Now I got some extra pieces that fell off. I can put them in. So I got really liking escarole, and it became one of my favorites to cook. My daughter got married, and she, her and her husband went to London to live for, I don't know, the job sent them over there, and they lived there for a few. Going here, and I'll take the other head, all right? Again, just shake it a little bit, make sure I get a little water out from, and again, the same deal, just cut it. All right? And let's just take it and put it in here, all right? What you could do, what I do a lot of times is I turn it by my hand, you know. I mean, it's not really that hot, so it's not like I'm a hero saying, oh, I can do this, you know. Nah, just do it. Well, anyway, back to the story. My daughter was living in London, and we went to this place called the Borough Market. Now, that's my favorite kind of place. New York City's got one, a great market there, and this is, and all these towns have these markets where they bring their apples and peaches and pears and potatoes and all that vegetable stuff. It's like really cool. And well, they have this one in London called the Borough Market, and they have everything in there, everything you can think of. So when she was living in London, I went over there and I wound up staying there for a while, and it was fun. We shopped at different stores they have there that we went to. And, you know, the great thing about London, I mean, besides everybody speaking English, I was always led to believe that London didn't have good food. Forget about it. I mean, it's got it together. They really do. They're great restaurants. It's just the subway system, or I guess the underground, is like cool. Anyway, so we're in this Borough Market, and we're walking around. I'm with my daughter and my youngest granddaughter, Addison, and we're kind of looking around. All of a sudden, my daughter and I separate, and she comes back and she says, Dad, you got to see this. I said, what? And she knows I'm into the escarole. I go in, and it's the biggest head of escarole I've ever seen. It was like a bouquet, you know. And, you know, and I look at it, and in the middle is the white that's really, you know, good. You know, you could take this white of the escarole and take it out and make a salad, you know. It's like, oh, it's always good. Anyhow, so we're looking at it, and I said, oh, I got to get it. And I bought it. I brought it home. And then I'm thinking, you know, we're coming home on the underground, and I got this big head of escarole with me, and people like kind of, you know, they don't, it's like New York. They don't, you know, people don't pay attention to other people. And we're going home, and I get into her house, and I said, oh, man, it's probably bad, you know, because it's that big. No way. It was tremendous. I mean, we had escarole for about a week, you know. I mean, just kept, it didn't go away. Anyway, this is moving okay here, all right? Now, I got these tongs, you know, so now I'm going to have to use the tongs. I don't think I can use it by my, you know, my hands here, all right? This one I can flip with my hand, all right? Now just let it go. It'll take a while, and we'll start cooking. Give me a little paper towel. Dry these hands out. And let's put a little bit more oil, all right? This escarole is cooking here. Not too bad, it's working out. We want to put a little bit of salt in here. So put a little bit of salt in here. This is going to work out good for vegetarians too. I mean, also a little garlic powder. I want to get the granulated one, okay? So just sprinkle some of that in here, all right? Remember, no pepper. Okay, so stay away from the pepper. So it's in here now, and it's cooking it. You know, you can hear it. You can hear it sizzling. All right. So I have pretty much mostly all of it covered and Still cooking up. You know, it doesn't take long for this to be done, you know. So now I add some stuff to it, a little bit more. I'm going to put in some garden vegetable broth. Still covering the vegetarians. There's no meat, right? So pour a little here. You know, and I do a lot of that stuff. I learned, I measure that, you know, I don't measure. I do it according to feel. I mean, I've been making this a lot, so, you know, I know that you can't, what I put in there is good, all right? I got this little wooden spoon. Anyhow, so we got this. A little bit. Alrighty. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to put some lemons in there. I have a lemon, and, you know, that's it. I cut the lemon. You know, and then you just, you know, cut it again and cut it again, and then put it in your hand and squeeze it so, you know, like so, that you don't, and if there are any pits, it stays in your hand, you know. So we got one gone. Half of a lemon I'm going to probably use, I guess. Yeah, that's usually my trick, add the lemon to it, all right? Now, you could do cannellini beans now. You can put it in. I usually do that now. You have cannellini beans, and one of the things about cannellini beans, they come, well, this is, you know, in water, and what you want to do is you want to drain it. So, and you have a strainer. I have a strainer in the sink, and just sprinkle it in. Oh, it's a, oh, they might call it an oily dish, but when you put the vegetable stock in there, that sort of kills it a bit, right? All right, so now I have it in, right? Now comes the trick. Now we want to remove this, the cores. So I take that, like so, and just hold it and just cut it. See, there's a core. Put it with these lemons. I don't know. You can use that as a mulch. You want to cut it a little bit too. You want it into bite-sized pieces, you know. But looks good to me. All right. Let me just pick it up. I got a trick ladle here. It's got some holes in it, and you can just pick this up and just. It's got some of your cannellini beans, and let it drain a bit, you know. Just sprinkle it up. I'm going to put it on here. Actually, the cool thing I'm going to do is probably cut a slice of bread. And, you know, it's like kind of a good look, right? So let's get some Italian bread. I got some Italian. I don't like too much on the end, but this way I'm going to go the end. Okay, so we do this. And then we take this here and we just cut. So take some of this here and just put it in. I actually put the beans in there too, you know. You know, kind of like a cool looking sandwich here, right? I'm going to do this. I made it. Mmm. Mmm. Bread is good. Mmm. That's what I was talking about. It's greasy and the oil coming out. Oh my God. Is this great? My hands are full of the oil. I'm thinking about when I was in high school and I used to bring that sandwich over and I would do this. And now I'm watching myself on the video. Oh, it's great. You got to try this. Really work on it a couple of times, you know, and just go easy with it, and you'll love it. You're probably better off just doing like one head when you first start, but this is great. If you're not having fun, I'm having fun. Anyway, thanks very much, and as I say in it, salute the Pachindan. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.